Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Oily Tuesday. Today is Free Me Tuesday. I said I was going to share my story with about my father. So I'm here to share. For all of you who don't know, this could be known for anybody. All that I share could be seeds for you to compare and hopefully heal somewhere. So, take it or leave it. I don't believe in coincidences. You receive a message, there could be something for you, and there may not be. Either way, take what you want and discard the rest. So, yes, I'm a girl who experienced in this third dimension abandonment wounds. Because my dad did leave the family when I was 15. It was already when I was 8 or 9 years old, I began to notice my parents fighting a lot, arguing heavy. But I always remembered being the one to have them sit down with me and say, what happened to the love? I thought in love we're supposed to be a family together. And I just remember that every fight they would have, there were times I would just try to bring them back together. So, being exposed to the arguments and whatnot, then seeing my parents make up after their fight, fuck each other to death. Sorry, Mom. Fuck each other to death. I mean, beep each other to death. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here. This YouTube thing is my first thing. I also deactivated my Instagram so I can liberate my mind a little further. I'm just focusing on this YouTube thing because it's for blogging. And blogging is much more healing than this. Whatever, there's many things in life that are healing. Anyway, back to the story. Yeah, so when I was 8 or 9, I started to notice my parents arguing much more, but they would fight and then make up and then Bangladesh each other apart. And more and more as their arguments progressed, the separation obviously started to get into play, and a lot of the argument would conclude to my mother kicking my dad out and saying, don't ever come back here, back home. So in the conclusion of their arguments together, my mom was requesting my father never to come back because, yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all. My papa is a playboy. In the Philippines, we call cheaters playboys. I don't know if, but whatever. I know that the labeling of a playboy was obtained from the Filipino side of things. But yeah, my dad was a playboy and cheater and shit like that, and my mom knew it. And my mom wasn't a cheater. She loved this man. But he also broke her heart. And it broke my mom's heart every time they argued and fought. It never got abusive or there was no physical abuse or anything like that. But the worst of the arguments, I remember my dad throwing like a chair and making a hole in the wall. But my mom would definitely, I definitely obtained inherited the tantrum projections from her, as it was displayed before me as a child. And as I grew older into relationships and stuff like that, and always obtained a long-term relationship, yeah, tantrum blowing was definitely one of my things too. Was. And, you know, in all respects of just the individual, I know everything for what it is now. And I'm grateful today that I've mended my relationship with both of my parents. So, but, starting again, I keep rambling. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, from around that time as they separated, by the time I reached 15, the progression of their fighting continued up to that age. And my dad just started to see us less and less. And my dad was the type of man that would laugh off of seriousness. Laugh it off and try his best to avoid any complications. Although he was the player. The gangster, the player, the gangster. My dad is a gangster player. Excuse me. Confirmation burp. And by the time I was 15, I remember this because it was my birthday. It was the official day that moving forward, he no longer would visit me. And what had happened with my 15th birthday, he didn't show up, but he did send me a Nintendo Nintendo station. Yeah, a Nintendo, okay? That's why I had a Nintendo back then. And yeah, he gifted me that for my 15th birthday, but after that he bounced, no longer showing up, and my mom got what she wished for, asking him never to return. And my dad faded into the background stories. I would only hear of him. I was close with my dad's brothers, my uncles and stuff on his side. So a lot of the growing up, I got disciplined and had a father figure through my mom's dad, my grandpa, who passed away. I love you. He's also my guardian angel. And my uncle Jess, my dad's older brother, who also passed from diabetes. Rest in peace, soul. I love you. He's also another guardian angel of mine. And yeah, for a good 5 years, I didn't have communication. So after I was 15, there was no steady communication with my father, or him being involved a lot at all in my childhood. I only recall the family really being together at my single-digit years. So, yeah, and then by the time I was 19, I was into, 15 to 19, I was in my rebellion days. I was trying drugs. As soon as I got into high school, I was an honor roll kid, and then by high school, everything started to flunk because I got into boys. Started wearing jeans. I was a tom girl. I was a tomboy when it came to my dad. Grew up as a child too, so I was a daddy's girl. So my dad leaving me really put a sting in my life. And moving forward, there was one time I was 19 and I got arrested for some bullshit I got into with a friend at Macy's, stealing lingerie, and I needed a guardian, and I decided to reach out to my pops, and my pops showed up for that. So yeah, he showed up for that when I was 19. I remember I had to pay restitution, all that bullshit. I don't remember if he helped me pay for it or anything, but yeah. He showed up then. I didn't tell my mom about that until way down the years. But my mom became a very hyper independent woman, and she placed that upon me. So hyper independence was always my thing. And Um, what am I, 36 now? As years went on, more distance and less communication at all with my father. I think like once every few years I said hello to him. I even decided at a point in life and time when I was in my 20s that like, it is what it is. If I don't or I do, rekindle with my father. I knew him for who he was and that he played mommy and stuff like that. And my mom just went about creating, bringing her family together for her, the love of her life. To this day, my mom is single. The love of her life is her family. And, I mean, to this day, I even do my best to let her know that she should find a relationship if she wants, but nah, my mom ain't about it. My dad broke my mom's heart, and she kept to keeping her family as the love of her life moving forward from that separation. Today, they can be around each other and be civil and shit like that, which is nice. But yeah, that was my childhood. Today, so after that incident when I was 19, again, after that incident when I was 19, reaching out to my pops actually the following year after that, or around when I was 21 or 22, he reached out to me because he got into some shit with getting arrested by getting into a DWI on the Grand Central, texting and driving drunk. In the Philippines, you drunk drive and you're American, you can pay a motherfucker off. My dad got used to that shit. My dad's like in the Philippines back and forth. So I've heard, you know? Back when I was 20 and shit, that's the type of stories I would hear about him, that he's back and forth in the Philippines. I didn't even really understand the fact that he lived only 10 minutes away from my mom's home. Didn't put the two together until lately, like now. But yeah, so he got into a DWI. He reached out to me, letting me know that he was going to be arrested for about 2 years because he injured union workers permanently. And that case blew over with him having to get locked up for 2.5 years. It was his first offense. Yep. Thankfully, nobody died in that incident. And, yeah, after that, I didn't visit him. I just heard he was, I was just aware that he was locked up for a couple of years. He got out on good behavior. And then moving forward, more distance and communication came along as I grew into life further and further. As I reached my age 30, I was texting him more so and so every now and then, just to check in, maybe have a dinner date and lunch here and there. And eventually, yeah, I got into that dark night of the soul relationship that dove me in deep. And the abuse of drugs, a drug that I wish not to speak of just yet. And after I pulled myself out of the dark night of the soul, it was a 5 to 6 year, 6-year drug addiction in this relationship in my 30s. I got out of it by the time I was 36. And I was single for a good while. Then I jumped into going to save myself out of this fucking, sorry for cursing, this addiction. And simplifying life as best as I could to get back to remembering who I am. And by the time I'm 37 now, I'm in a good relationship right now, and This past year, I got into this great relationship after my Colorado trip. If you didn't hear about it, if you're listening this far, thank you very much. I appreciate. Subscribe, like, share. Again, if there's anything here for you to resonate to, I appreciate you listening this far. And yeah, so yeah, I rekindled my relationship with my father this year. I learned a lot about him. He is truly a gangster. I learned about his past life and his growing up. He had a hard time. His parents didn't show him love like a typical American family could. Or I don't even want to make comparisons, but all I know is there was a lack of love in his relationship with his parents. And amongst that, he dealt with a very hard living lifestyle when he was younger. And he told me that he was living in an area 10 times worse than the Bronx. And there's things in his past life that he doesn't look back to because it's gotten that crazy and that dark. But I hope and I pray for his 180 as he's a 72-year-old man right now. This past year, I've learned to accept, embody, and everything my relationship with my father and mend it together. We've done a lot of healing together this past year. I see him more often so than ever. There's a lot of blessings he's provided me with this past year in helping me heal. And he knows my journey of the dark night of the soul, what I had to deal with the past 5-6 years. And he knows of I'm like truly in touch with my father these days. Like he's involved with my life as much as I am involved with his. And I gotta say, I'm proud of being able to move the way I do and help bring our relationship back together and heal together, because it's everything. Right now, my dad is working on his new marriage with a woman in who works in Dubai, and they have a home together in the Philippines. So yeah, I fly back and forth when they want me to visit, and yeah, that's my journey with my padre. Everything healed and good and graced. I have both my parents, although for a majority of my life I didn't have any of them together. It's important to heal your relationship with your parents, I feel, because they're the ones you started with. And although they're not together, I'm happy that they are civil together when in the same room. And they both are able to now freely express their love to me as an adult. And to have them both, I accept them both. And the traumas that all three of us have put each other through. Because I had mad hard times with my mother. And I had mad hard times accepting my father. But everything's in grace now. I accept him for who he is, what he's been through. I accept my mother and the hardships that she's been through. I love them. And it's just better, I feel, to embody that. I'm grateful for them as much as I am grateful for myself and being created by them. But yeah, that was my story, guys. I appreciate you listening. Like, subscribe. I'll have more vulnerability stories for you. If any of this resonates, give me a heart, a like. This is New York's most felt earth angel, Jenny June. Peace, love, and light.